This is it, wrestling fans. Coming at you again, straight up. I'm Harry Bernard Taylor, accompanied by the one and only Michael King.
The Asian sensation.
And Chris Burton.
The People's Podcaster.
Okay, Chris, we're going to get on into this, man. First match, Orange Cassidy versus Cesar Bononi. What you think about that match?
That'd be the AEW Dynamite June 18th show.
Yes.
Yes. That match, oh dear Lord, okay. Well, I'm starting to lose interest in Orange Cassidy.
Okay.
Because, I mean, how many more times can we see a guy come out here look like a wrestling sloth? Think about it now, people. Think about it. A wrestling sloth. He comes out, he can actually wrestle, but he comes out want to be all cool, shades on, hands in his pockets, and you got this other guy that wants to be serious and actually have a match. Oh, man.
But he is over with the crowd.
He is, man. He's got his little fan that dresses up like him, comes out every week. Okay, woo, woo, woo.
I still think Orange Cassidy is Heath Slater. And then I also want to talk about the Orange Punch. All right, so
yes.
if you are dogging Roman Reigns, if you're one of the Roman Reigns, I hate Roman Reigns and his stupid Superman punch, but you like the Orange Punch, you're a hypocrite. That's plain and simple. You're just a hypocrite.
Well, man, you know what gets me is if he wants to hold his hands in his pockets while he's dominating the match, while he's in control of the match, I don't mind that. I mean, that's fine. But I mean, this man he's getting pressed in the air and he got his hands in his pocket and he's getting slammed to the mat, hands in his pocket. He's getting thrown over to the turnbuckle, hands in his pocket. But the guy's talented, man. He's talented.
Don't get me wrong. The guy is talented. He has all time in the world. And if you know anything about wrestling, you need your arms free for some moves that you do.
Right.
I mean, that's just bare basics. For some things you do, you need your arms free.
Yes.
But he has trained and honed himself the way he can do things where his arms aren't free, whereas where you would need your hands to be free. Which is a talent. I will give him that.
It's particularly useful when everything is choreographed.
Yes. And what he's not going to be able to do that forever.
No.
Right.
And the fans are going to get tired of that.
Yeah, because
I mean,
Prime example. When he wrestled Jericho in the Mimosa match.
Right.
When he actually took his hands out of his pocket and started throwing legit punches, I was like, wow. Mm-hmm. I'm like, wow. It blew my mind. It was like something I'd never seen before. It was like a major first for me.
Right, and there's a way to... So, he goes out there, shoves his hands in his pockets. It's like, I'm not worried about you in front of me. Guy starts punching, you just do the Bruce Lee, dodging the punches, that kind of stuff. Yeah. You're like, never take the hands out. It's like, because you're that damn good, right?
Yeah.
I get that. But when you get picked up and thrown around and keep your hand... Okay. Not giving a damn is not a superpower.
No.
That's just like, okay, I'm just whatever. I'm just me. I'm just laid back, cool. I would say if it was a cross-brand promotion, him and... what was that? The dude with Randy Orton?
Riddle.
Yeah, they would be a good damn tag team.
I can see that. One doesn't wear shoes, the other one doesn't use his hands.
Well, that's true.
They would be a good tag team.
Yeah, I can see a good mix there of a tag team, man. It would be good.
But overall, that match, man, I'm gonna give it a C.
Yeah.
Overall, I'm gonna give it a C.
I'm gonna give it a C plus. I like the way the match ended, and I do like the super punch.
I like the super punch. All right, I do like the super. That's one of the things. So when Roman Reigns was part of the Shield and I like the Shield.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
When they broke up the Shield, I didn't like Roman Reigns so much.
Exactly.
You know, I like Seth a little bit more. I like Dean Ambrose a little bit more.
Yeah,
but I felt they were better collectively than individually.
Right. But yeah, that punch came fast and it came quick, and he laid Cesar out. So I liked it, man. So like I say, I'm gonna go with that C plus.
C plus is what we got going.
Well, there you go.
Okay. All right.
He barely made the cut. He barely made the cut.
All right, Michael. We're gonna go with the next match: Julia Hart versus Penelope Ford.
I like the ladies.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
So-
yes.
That was
Michael
great.
loves the ladies.
I actually, I like that match, man.
I did like that match.
We're gonna go.
I liked Penelope Ford in particular.
Yes.
To be
Matter of
honest.
fact,
Yes.
Michael, we're gonna go to new hashtag. Hashtag Michael loves the ladies. There we go.
All right.
Yeah,
All
new
right,
hashtag.
so now my wife is not allowed to watch the show.
Well, okay. Hashtag Michael loves the lady. There you go.
All actuality, I thought about a Twitter account for Straight Up Wrestling, and we will be doing that soon. And look for us on Facebook soon, and we're going to start an Instagram account. And pretty soon you will be able to see our faces because we're going to go live.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
I feel like we're three masked men in wrestling, and we're about to reveal ourselves.
Well, I'm going to make sure I have my own makeup girl, so that make sure that we're taken care of.
Right.
We don't have that shine.
Exactly.
But yeah, go ahead. Let's talk about the
Yeah,
match,
let's talk about-
Michael.
So, Julia Hart, Penelope Ford. Julia Hart. Okay, I like that match. When it first started, I was not optimistic about it. Cheerleader thing and that kind of stuff, but during the course of the match, it actually they won me over. All right. I like the athleticism. In some ways, I think the female wrestlers are being more creative than the male wrestlers.
Yes.
Or
I can
at a
see that.
minimum, I'm just not used to it. But
Yeah.
in particular in AEW, I think they're being more creative. When I look at the female storylines with WWE, it kind of feels like the men did this, now we're going to have the women do this. So I like this match. And I really like Penelope Ford, her athleticism and her gimmick. I don't know, I can't be... I'm just... She's growing on me.
There you go.
Yeah, I thought it was a decent match. Some of the things kind of got me. The match started off kind of medium speed, and then it got a little slower when the girls started doing some of their gymnastic type moves, and so I was like, man, this is getting a little boring. And then it picked up at the end, right at the end, and Penelope, she shocked me I'm pretty sure she'd been using this move before, but at the end she ended up rolling up and using the Indian Deathlock, which is one of my favorite moves of all time. But she used a reverse Indian Deathlock, which I'd never seen before. Paul Jones used to use the Indian Deathlock.
Matter of fact, the first and last time I actually saw that used, Triple H was using it.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, he was using it, but it was very rare.
Right, it's very rare. Paul Jones used it. Remember number one, Paul Jones? He used it for years, man. I never seen anybody break that thing from him. And I learned to move myself, and we used to do it on people when I was in school, in middle school.
Yeah.
But man, that thing is a hard move to break, and I hardly ever seen any other wrestler use it. So I was real impressed when she did that move, and then she turned it backwards and did it and laid back. So man, I was really impressed with the match. I was impressed with Julia Hart too. So what would you get that match, Michael? Since we went with you
I
first.
give it a solid B.
Okay.
Okay. I would go with a B2, yeah, because the women on AEW, they definitely put in the work to learn their craft, and they make it look good.
Yes.
So yeah, I would definitely give that a solid B.
Well, you two guys, I know you like the ladies, Michael and Chris. It seems you like them too, man. I enjoyed watching those two, but man, I can't give them a B. I was going to give them a D plus when they started doing that, because when they, like I say, when they went into their little gymnastics and cutting their flips and things.
Gymnastics.
I mean, it was, man. It was, they did some gymnastic cheerleading moves.
Julia Hart definitely did. I saw that.
Yes.
And it wasn't my favorite part of the match, but it was short lived.
It was short lived, and it was choreographed. It seemed like it seemed choreographed, and you could see it coming. And so I was going to give the match a D plus until Penelope picked it up and then rolled her into the Indian Deathlock. So I give the match a C+. It was a very good match, and it's something I would like to see again. So I have no problem with that. So it was a good match overall.
All right. So then after that, we go to our tag team aficionado and Harry Rhodes Anderson versus QT Marshall and Aaron.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good match, man. I don't know about Arn Anderson's kid right now. He's pretty good in a lot of things that he's doing right. A lot of things he's doing right. He's doing a lot of things that Arn done. When QT Marshall smacked Arn on the back the week before with that belt, and Brock jumped in to defend his father. He reminded me so much of Arn, that takedown, man, and just boom. Just you just tell he looked just like the enforcer coming out there enforcing things and just man, he just taking care of business. I'm like, hey, the young man has something. He looked good in this match, but he's not ready to be in a match with someone like QT Marshall.
No. Right. He was the weak link in that match.
Right.
Yeah, he really was.
Right.
And it showed.
Yes.
And another thing, the boy needs to learn how to tie his boots. I was like, man, you gonna mess around and kill yourself and kill somebody else, they gonna trip over your bootstrings, man. Hey, before you can get in the ring, learn how to tie up your boots, son.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do.
So I think it was a decent match. A couple of things I liked. I liked seeing Brock get the spine buster put on him.
Yes.
In front of Arn. I think that that was clever. I think it is a nice heel touch.
Of course.
I like that. And I also got a sensation that there is going to be heel Brock, heel Arn turning on Cody, and you're going to have the Anderson, Dusty Rhodes historical feud.
Right. I had some kind of feeling about that. I'm like a Rhodes, a Rhodes with an Anderson, and I'm like, man, Dusty Dusty had his history with the Andersons.
Oh, good Lord.
So man, I'm like, wow. And Cody done some things, man, that just remind me so much of him. As the older that he gets, he looks so much like Dustin in the ring, and he mimics it, a lot of things that Dustin done at that age. Man, it's kind of amazing. But he actually was the class of that tag team, of course. Because he has the experience. But
then you talking about how Cody kind of mimics his brother.
Right.
And if you see his brother's starting to act like his daddy.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I see that.
But at the end of that match, so this is why, because it was very subtle, and I hope it's a turn, because I think if it is, they did it right. It's so subtle. You didn't see Brock and Cody celebrating together. You saw Brock and Arn, and Cody was off by himself, and almost felt like we're too good for you, or this is important and you're not, type of thing. So I think it was a good feed.
Yeah, there's something definitely brewing there, I'm sure.
And Brock got the pin against Aaron Solo. So I give the match a B, a solid B. I thought it was a pretty good match. I think Brock, he held himself well overall as far as his introduction into the ring. As far as what he done in the match, I think he gave a solid C. It was an average performance. But there's something there, but I think he needs to get a little bit bigger. Maybe get into the gym, or his body will mature a little bit more. I have no idea how old this guy.
Yeah, so
how old he is.
I'm glad you mentioned the gym.
Yes,
because he had that body type has potential, and it looks like he has a lazy gym effort. Because I still look at his dad, and I look at him, and I see the similarities.
Right.
But But his dad at that age would not have put up with that body. At
Oh
that
no,
age.
man, no. Arn was solid, man. He was at that time.
Arn was what they call a fire player.
Yeah, when Arn first came into wrestling, Arn was already ready. He was had the size and he had the mass. He was ready.
He just needed a ring set.
Yeah, this kid looked like he was hoping to go off to college and be a college wrestling star or something like that. But I think he just got out of high school because he was a high school champion up in Charlotte. And yeah, he was a all state guy. So he's not that old, man. And
so he's probably in his late teens, early 20s.
18, 19. I think he said he's 18. He's either 18 or 19 or something like that. At least I think. And so.
Yeah, so
he just started.
That's a question we can put out for our fans. If anybody actually knows.
Right. So
hit us up in the comments.
That's it.
Let us know if you know how old Arn's son actually is. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, share, and comment, and get
the ding ding, ring that bell, and subscribe.
Hit that notification bell. Yes. But I figure by the time he hits around 22, 21, 20, maybe 22. He will fill out his body probably the way his dad looked when he first started in the business.
Hopefully he will, because right now he just looks like a limp noodle in trunks.
Right.
Yeah. I think he's probably about 24 is the way he looks to me. So, so just so everybody know, all the listeners know, we kind of touched on some of the AEW Dynamite matches, just a couple the other day. So we're not going to go into detail, but I want to go through the full results for Dynamite before we give our summary of it. So we had Hager defeating Wardlow in that MMA style match by referee stoppage. And then we had the Men of the Year beating Darby Allin in that handicap match.
Yes.
Then we talked about the Orange Cassidy. He defeated Benoni. Rose Anderson beat So Slow and QT Marshall. Solo, but you know. Penelope Ford defeated Hart, and Jackson and the Good Brothers defeated Penta, Kingston, and Kazarian. And you want to touch on that 6-man just briefly, real quick?
Yeah, so we can touch on that 6-man match real quick. I thought it was a very good match. Penta, Alex, what is this? Abrahantis? Alex, who's his partners? Okay, because you had Frankie Kazarian, Penta, and Alex.
Kingston.
Well, no, it was Kingston. Okay, Alex is the manager. I'm sorry. But and they was taking on Matt Jackson and the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Which was a very good match, man. I followed the whole thing. It was easy to follow. It was each guy in the match seemed very polished. They knew what they was doing, and I mean, it was hard hitting all around. I mean, the action, it was action packed on the outside and it was action packed on the inside. So I was really impressed with everything that everybody was doing in the ring and outside of the ring. It all looked good. So I mean, they looked good in the air and on the mat.
Yeah. So you basically, in a nutshell, had 4 guys versus the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
And
basically in a nutshell.
I like the Bullet Club under any name that they choose to use. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
So whatever they want to call themselves, they always put on a good show.
But I don't. You know what? Now I kind of think about it. And I'll ask you, Michael. Do you think the Bullet Club will catch on as big as it here in the States as it will like it did in Japan?
It could. I think the gimmick that would definitely, because it really kind of throws back to the Attitude Era. Type of style, you know, like Degeneration X type of thing. So I think it could. I think when they went to WWE, they were held back probably because Degeneration X didn't want it to become as popular as Degeneration X.
True.
Right, and so they were buried.
And called the club.
Right, and that was licensing reasons, but Gallows and Anderson, they never really gave them the push that they deserved.
No. I mean, they got the titles and a little pat on the back, whatever, but other than that, no.
Yeah, so I think it can. WWE is not the place for it for the political reasons, but I like them. I think they can catch on.
So it might catch on in AEW. Who knows?
I hope so.
We'll
Okay,
see.
okay, but back to the match.
Yeah. So what would you give that overall, Harry?
Well, Penta is really grown on me, man. I think he's really good, and Penta and Eddie Kingston and Carl Anderson were the class of the match, if you ask me. I like each one of those guys.
You already know how I feel about Eddie, but anyway.
Well,
Eddie Knight, Kofi Kingston.
it doesn't matter what you think about Eddie.
Wow. Okay.
Only thing that matters is I think he's good.
Oh man, come on.
And it doesn't matter what Michael thinks. Now, if Michael with you, it doesn't
I
matter.
give it a D+.
No, but Penta, man, he really impresses me on the things that he can do.
Penta's a good.
I mean, he can be hard hitting when he has to be,
good Lord, yes,
and man, and he's really good at getting out of certain holes, and he's great at using his feet, man. I think those three was the class of the match, even though everybody else done very well in it. So I give it a solid B+. It was really good. I almost gave it an A, but I give it a B+. The match was really exciting.
What stopped you from giving it an A?
Well, sir, I don't know, man. I mean, it's something about it. It was slow in some parts. Some parts at the beginning, I was just like, okay, man, it was a little. It dragged a couple times. So and then it picked up, dragged again, then it picked up again at the end. So
let me ask a question.
So the match was I like it.
Do we have the patience for an old school work the arm for 30-minute match anymore?
I do. I mean, heck, New Japan, man, those matches are 45 minutes.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So I asked, and I don't disagree with you about your assessment. It just triggered me wondering, slow spots. There's a little drag here, a little drag there.
Yeah.
But then I started thinking, we used to have 5 minutes of arm bar and headlock.
This is
right.
So, and we loved some of those matches. So I'm just wondering, do we really have the patience and the mindset to withstand that anymore?
Not anymore.
That's true.
This generation now is so instant. They want things so quick, so fast, boom, 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 that, like I said, in the 80s, the Andersons working an arm for like 45 minutes, tagging in and tagging out, and you thinking the dude's arm going to finally just snap off, but no, they still working on the arm for another 85 minutes.
Right.
And you like, God almighty, man.
And look at the way...
It was a good match.
It was a great match.
But now, that would not fly.
And you got to look at the way they present it. Mm-hmm. Look at the way they present it now. I look at the presentation, so I'm going with what they present. They present action-packed, and anything that's slow, I'm like, okay, you're not putting somebody in the headlock. You're not putting them in an arm bar. You're not doing an abdominal stretch. If you done that stuff, if I saw that going down the line in each match, man, I would enjoy it, because I love a good technical match, a great wrestler that's complex and that can do all those things that we used to see in wrestling.
Right.
So I would love to see that, but for some reason, the way they present their product now, when they get a little slow and driving the match, it's like, okay, what are you gonna do right now? Because for some reason, it's showing me that you're sitting there thinking, on what move should I do next? Is it the same kicks or whatever, or do I have to be amazing and do some kind of turn and twist move, grab your body and do something that's been actually replayed over and over again, which they're doing, and it's great, man. I think it's really good and it's exciting, but it kind of bores me a little bit if they slow down, but I don't know why.
Mike, you want to touch on that because I was about to break down the fourth wall when he said some.
No, Michael was about to say something before me. So it's his turn.
So this is what I'm thinking. All right, I think with the improved showmanship and the improved athleticism, that they have probably sacrificed a little bit of story and a whole lot of psychology in their matches.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so
I agree.
Their slow spots don't necessarily make sense.
Yes.
When they attack a knee, they do it 3 times, they limp for 5 minutes, and then it's back to normal.
Right.
And old school, they would attack a knee, and they would focus on that specific knee for the entire match, and,
yes.
and they would play the psychology of that knee for
yes.
the entire match.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris.
I was
break it
thinking
down,
about
brother.
what you were gonna say, man.
Yes.
And I'm gonna pull back the curtain just a little bit. When you're in a wrestle, wrestling is a thinking man's sport.
Yes.
Because you got to remember from A to Z and everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
And at times, somewhere in between A and Z gets muffled and muddled, and you might go from B to O, and you forget about K and D, or those things get twisted. So you're trying to think and be like, okay, we're doing this, and this. And sometimes you just need that moment of slowness to compose yourself sometimes and to get everything in order.
Yeah,
yes.
I agree. With WWE, the referees have a bigger role than in the indies.
Oh yeah.
And so they have the earpiece. They're being talked to from the gorilla pit, right? The gorilla position. So they're able to talk with the wrestlers. So I'll pull back that fourth curtain. All right, I'll pull it back. Indie wrestling, it's more like a dance.
Yeah.
All right, it's more like a dance. Your veteran wrestler, the more experienced wrestler, he's going to be the lead. You're going to talk about some things that you want to get over, absolutely, and you're going to have a finish. But if you're the junior person, you're kind of feeling where the senior person is going and going with it.
Yeah,
so one person's going to lead, you're going to follow, and they'll call or remind some spots in as the match goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, any sport is going to have its slow periods. And I mean, if you look at basketball, which NBA playoffs going on right now, all sports have.
Got put out.
Sorry to hear that, my friend.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you sound very, very sympathetic.
Hey, man, they was my favorite team at one time.
Yeah, when in '76.
Hey, when they had Julius Erving,
like I
Dr.
said, in '76.
Moses Malone.
They
didn't have Moses. They didn't have Moses. Okay, go ahead. That was in
about
81.
Yeah,
82. They won the championship.
Yeah.
Yes.
So our friend Harry is 63 years old.
No, Harry's 54 years old. Okay, but I can go back. That's why I can go back into history, back into wrestling into the early 70s, because I started watching it back in the early 70s, and so I know a lot about the sport. Okay, but the last 20 years, these guys got me on. And like I say, I'm just catching back on board, and I'm happy to be here to be talking to you.
Right.
Happy to be here to talk to you.
Before we get into our 76ers debate, let's go ahead and summarize.
Yeah.
We summarized AEW. Let's just give it a final grade.
A final grade overall?
You talking about this match?
No, the overall.
The overall of the show?
Yeah.
Okay, who wants to start off with that?
I'll give it a B+.
I'd give it a solid B.
I give it a solid B. That's what I. That's what
so
I
it's
got.
a good show. I mean,
yeah, it was a good show.
We said before we're difficult graders. It's hard to get an A out of us.
Oh yeah.
So when I'm reviewing hotels, restaurants, airlines, they give me like out of 10. Nobody gets a 10.
Oh, good Lord.
Yes.
So a solid B is a really good show.
Oh yes.
So that covers us for AEW Dynamite, and I think we should move on to Smackdown, June 18th. Harry, you want to talk about our favorite tag team guru here? Talk about Cruz and Aziz versus Big E and Owens.
That wasn't a tag team match, was it?
That
was a four-way. Wasn't that a four-way knockdown?
It looked like teams to me.
Wrong,
I thought
man.
it was Cruz and Aziz against the other two.
Yeah, because I was about to say that's a tag team because Aziz is with Cruz. The what is it, commander or colonel, whatever they calling him now. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because the storyline, man, goes Cruz and Big E got a thing going on for the IC title.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Okay, it was cruising.
It was a
Okay, wait a
messy
minute.
match.
Okay, it was cruising Aziz against who?
Big E and Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
No, brother. It was Sami Zayn,
No.
Kevin Owens, Apollo Crews, and Big E. I thought.
No, Sami Zayn was just on commentary and got involved.
Oh, okay, man. I'm sorry, man. I am a little lost here. I don't remember that match, brother. I do not remember that match going down like that. And let me see who all. Okay, you say Big E.
Yeah, Big E and Kevin Owens.
Okay.
Apollo
Crews and Aziz.
So
Wait a minute. I did see that match, man. But wow.
You got too much wrestling in your
But
head.
yeah,
man.
because like I say, I've watched a lot, man, in the past 2 days.
It's all looking the
But
same.
man,
That big guy versus that big guy.
yeah.
And the big guy wins.
I thought it was a pretty good match. As far as I like the power. I like the power in the match. Big E, I was impressed with him. With low, he's low to the ground, solid impact, and he brought a lot. And Kevin, but I'm really impressed with Kevin Owens.
You did say you like Kevin Owens.
I like Kevin Owens. I think he's hard hitting. He brings a solid. He brings a solid. Seems like he brings a solid background. I don't know how long he's been in the business. Maybe one of you two can.
He's been in well over.
Talk about.
In the business for a long time.
Yeah,
Yes.
well over 10 plus.
Right.
Yeah, well over.
But he really impressed. He really impressed me, man. So I think overall it was a solid match. But each one of those guys, like say, is pretty strong, man, and they just it was predictable. It was predictable to me.
Oh yeah, and that's why it's to me it's kind of tough going from AEW dropping straight into WWE because I feel WWE is so much more predictable. Or at least SmackDown and Raw is much more predictable.
Yeah.
So this match is predictable. You got Kevin Owens. He's yet again feuding with Sami Zayn because we can do this for 100 years and evidently
Exactly.
nobody's supposed to get bored of it.
And then
so you're gonna put Sami Zayn ringside and he's not going to play a role. Of course he's going to. So everything is set up to repeat what you just watched. That few weeks ago and
on
that few
Hell in a
weeks ago.
Cell or whatever, or before Hell in a Cell, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So.
And then you got the story, like I said, between Apollo Crews and Big E there for the IC and all that.
Right.
And then, but the whole thing is that here's a twist, if you haven't already noticed. Apollo Crews is doing his, I think, Nigerian thing. They're trying to touch on his Nigerian background and everything. So here they go. They were like, okay, Nigerian, African, Civil War kind of deal, kind of, Last King of Scotland kind of issue, and they're gonna bring in a general / bodyguard. Come on.
Why don't they just make him like the prince that gives everybody's hundreds of millions of dollars in those emails?
I know, right? But yeah, the match was what you expected it to be.
Yeah, and it was boring. It's not untalented. It's not unathletic.
No, we're not saying that at all because all those guys can go.
Yes.
All of them can go. So I mean, we're not saying it wasn't interesting athletically wise match. It was good that way, but from a story standpoint, it was like I'm kind of dozing off and I wake up and I'm like, oh, they're still at it again.
Oh yes.
That kind of deal.
You could. It was very easy to predict. It's like, okay, this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen, and then Sami Zayn's going to happen, and this is going to happen, then there's going to be like a distraction, then there's going to be a pin.
Or somebody's going to get the win. Or,
So it just kept me at a middle ground of what I was thinking of the match, and I said, okay, just an average match. That's like you say, it's going to end in a way that that's easily predictable. But overall, I thought the match was pretty decent. You know, I didn't turn away anything like that. I didn't get up and go to the refrigerator and make a sandwich.
But it was so good. It took you 3 minutes to remember what it was.
Right. That's true.
Yikes.
I mean, yeah, that's true, man. I did. Like I say, I forgot about it, man. I really did.
Man.
And that's what every wrestler wants to hear. Oh yeah, I forgot you had a match.
Yeah. So. What'd you give it, Chris?
I'll give it a C minus.
Yeah, I'm with Chris on that one.
I'll give it a C.
All right.
Okay. What's next?
So Christopher, Reigns and Mysterio, you wanted this one specifically. So I want to talk about this one more than any other. Okay, you didn't. I assigned it to you. But, you know.
yeah. He's fibbing, people. He's fibbing. Rey Mysterio and Roman Reigns,
the main event,
the head of the table,
the Hell in the Cell on Smackdown because they wanted to announce another milestone that's never been done before.
Okay. Okay, I gotta compose myself here, people. Bear with me because if you understand, Hell in a Cell used to be a major attraction.
Blood and guts.
Yes, it was something that only happened
at the pay-per-view. Like once a year.
Yeah, once a year, and it might have been one match. And it was the match to end a particular feud. Mm-hmm. And it was like these two dudes had to damn near shoot each other to end this feud. It was at that point.
Be thrown off the top onto the announce table.
Yes, it was just that. But now
it's a cage match.
Basically, I mean, you got just about a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Okay, I get it. You have a theme for your pay-per-view. But does just about every match need to be in Hell in a Cell when it doesn't need to be? No. And then you're going to do something like, oh, well, let's do it first. Let's put Hell in a Cell on TV. Which does what? It lowers the value of Hell in a Cell. So, here we are. Smackdown, head of the table, Roman Reigns, Rey Mysterio. And...
So are they saying that Reigns and Mysterio is just not good enough for the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, so they need to do it on SmackDown? Or did they have like a dentist appointment or something? Couldn't make it to Hell in a Cell?
I don't know what it was, but it was... oh my God.
These guys was ticked off at each other, man. They just really ticked off at each other, and they needed to have a match, and they needed to be Hell in a Cell. So they needed to get this thing out of the way. They could not wait until Hell in a Cell. They had to get this thing out of the way.
I love how you trying to hype this up, but it ain't working.
Hey, man.
You ain't fooling nobody,
Hey, man, they had to get this out of the way. The old man, little bitty old man, 5'3", Rey Mysterio said, look, I don't care how big you are. I'm going to come in and I'm going to take you apart. I'm going to jump on you and I'm going to show you what I can do.
Only because the big man threw the little man's son out of the ring, and from the camera angle, it looks like he threw him I don't know where he threw him, but it looked pretty nasty from the camera angle.
Yes.
But let me get
so Rey's basically, I got to fight in the pin. Oh, and since I'm going to fight in the pin, put your title on the line, buddy.
Yes.
Go ahead, so I'll get it. So let's talk about the match itself. Rey Mysterio is Rey Mysterio. He's
going to be what he's going to be.
Hall of Fame, fantastic performer. Even when I hate him, I love him, you know?
Yes.
He always does well. Roman Reigns, I liked him more in the Shield. I do like the...
Acknowledge him.
I do like the story that they're doing with the Usos and Roman Reigns, head of the family, that type of thing. If I'm Roman Reigns, I don't care what Vince McMahon says, I'm going to go out there and say, you know what? I beat up your dad, kid.
Yes.
I went every week and saying, I beat you up, I beat up your dad.
Yes.
Yeah. So who's the family? We're the family. Now your family can go back to
obscurity or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like a basic David versus Goliath match. Mm-hmm. Ray was gonna get in some high spots and do some awesome moves, and Roman, of course, is gonna sell it and make him look good. But then overall, Roman's like, okay, enough of this child's play. I'm gonna throw you around like a little 5-year-old and just jack you up and throw you around like a rag doll, which he did.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens? A couple of spears, Superman punch, 1, 2, 3, the match is over.
Yes.
But,
Well,
and then what happens? Ray's hurting, doesn't stay down. Roman sees it, is like, oh,
Put
he
him in
must
that lock
want some
again.
more.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, I thought Mysterio, I thought he presented himself well, but I'm just like, why, man? You know, why, Ray?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not like he wasn't beat up by Roman Reigns before.
right?
Exactly, it has happened. I mean, but yeah, oh no, he wasn't a Superman punch. It was that
The
choke
guillotine
hold
thing.
Yes.
Guillotine.
Yeah, guillotine.
And I'm
that
like-
made him tap. Yeah,
You know, Ray, you're not gonna get any bigger, buddy. I mean, stop,
maybe around the gut, maybe.
Yes.
which is showing.
stop trying to fight these giants, man.
Yeah, but
You know.
he established a reputation on beating the Giants.
Yes, he did. Yes, he
Right?
did.
So he's going to continue to do that.
Right.
It makes sense
But
with
it's
the
not-
character.
but it's not
Yeah.
working no more.
Right.
Right.
So at some point, you got to sit back and reevaluate. Okay, it worked in the past. It's not working now. But if it does work, I get a cheap pop.
Mm-hmm.
But it hasn't worked.
I would like to see, even though I like seeing Rey Mysterio in, you know, singles matches, but I would like for him to spend more time with his kid, man, and maybe team with his kid, and for the last few years or however long he's gonna be, and let that roll out to be twilight of his career, that he ended up teaming with his son Dominic, and doing his thing.
I would like that too. I'd spin it. I am tired of the. Well, not tired because it's really not done that often, but stereotypically you have the heel turn father versus son or brother against brother type thing. I like the tag team idea, but I'd like to see Mysterio and Dominic as heels. And if they're going to go out, I'd like to, and the tag team, the faction of the day, I'd like to see them heel turn, take on New Day, beat New Day, and then fade away.
I think that'll be great, but I don't. Do you think they actually would do that?
Do you think Hogan would heel turn? And you know if
Well, he did.
right, but nobody thought he would, and that was the
Nobody-
beauty of it.
I know.
And do you know who was going to heel turn if Hogan chose not to?
Who?
Sting.
Sting.
Sting
Yes.
was the second guy up to heel turn. So.
I wouldn't have been shocked if Sting turned heel
At
because
that point, I can see it.
because well, even at any time, because Sting started out as a heel when he started out in wrestling.
Blade runners and all
So
that,
it you know, he was a heel in UWF too at one time. So him being a heel wasn't shocking to me. Now, one person would have been a heel in wrestling would have shocked me. Can either one of you guess? Would have shocked the living daylights out of me.
John Cena.
I don't know. John Cena was a heel for a while, so.
Yes, he was a heel.
Well,
This guy never was a heel.
oh, Steamboat.
Yes, Ricky
Yeah.
Steamboat.
I was about to say, we
Now
said
Ricky
that
Steamboat.
was
Now Ricky Steamboat would ever turn heel, man. I would have just fell out. Like you say, because he was the ultimate good guy, man. And so he's about the only one. I mean, I was really another person that turned heel was Paul Jones. When he turned heel, man, my heart was broken, man. I was like, oh my gosh, man, because he was like that. He was the ultimate good guy. And Chief Wahoo McDaniel too. When Chief Wahoo McDaniel turned heel, man, I was just like, oh my gosh.
Now I tell you what tripped me out. I'm gonna take you back. This is gonna make you laugh. I would have thought they would have never turned heel, but they did.
Who?
Ricky Morton.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Now that blew my mind.
Hey
right
man,
there, man. I
Richard
was like-
Morton, man.
Yeah, that was like.
Hey, he had plenty of incentive. There was a lot of incentive there, man. He had Alexandra York was a pretty good looking woman.
Man,
You know,
that-
so
Yeah.
That blew my mind.
I mean,
was
so
like,
she got Ricky Morton turned him to Richard. She got Terry Taylor turned him into Terrence. She got who else did she get, man?
I like Terry Taylor.
Yes,
How
yes.
about-
Oh, I
did
love
she
him.
get Chris Adams? Remember Chris Adams, the British?
No, she didn't get Chris
Not-
Adams.
No,
No.
this was WCW.
Yes.
Oh, you're thinking about WCCW.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she got Terrence turned him to Terrence Taylor. Who else was in that in that stable?
It was Terry Taylor.
Oh, she had
Ricky Morton.
she had Michael Rotundo. Turned him into
Rotunda.
I don't know what she had Michael Rotundo. I know that.
It was about 4 of them.
Yeah, she had another person, man, but she changed everybody's name. It was pretty cool.
So we're way off topic.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we are.
Well, we can get back to this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
at the end. And we'll do a little
York
wild card
Foundation.
thing.
That
We'll talk about some
that was pretty
legends
awesome.
or
Okay.
something. But we need to get
overall match, great.
for Rey's Mysterio.
Yeah, Rey and Roman.
C. It was everything I expected.
I give
and
it a C
nothing more.
minus. I give it a C minus.
Man, shoot. I'm gonna give it higher than that. I'm gonna give it a B.
B. Wow.
Yes, I'm gonna give it a B.
Wow.
He likes him some
see.
Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Yes, acknowledge him.
Hey, man.
He is the head of your table.
Okay, so
Roman Reigns is a gangster.
So we're gonna go. we're gonna roll into Shinsuke versus Baron, but I want to caveat our WWE talk real quick. WWE is like Justin Bieber. All right. You talk to all your friends. Ain't nobody going to fess up to listening to Justin Bieber, but he has #1 records. All right. He has #1 songs.
Right.
All right. But nobody listens to him. You talk to everybody. No. WWE has the most viewers, and everybody claims to hate it, but they have the most viewers. So
yes.
So I want to acknowledge that WWE is still top of the heap. We are watching it. I think we're down on it more than others simply because they have more. They have extra. They have all the talent.
They have all the talent.
They're just not maximizing.
They got the talent. They got the look. They have the presentation. But yes,
so our grades are affected by the expectation versus the presentation.
Right.
Yes.
So Shinsuke versus Corbin. I have not liked Corbin since the day I saw him on TV.
When did you first see him?
When he debuted in WWE.
How long ago was that?
He's called the Lone Wolf, and he came out by himself, and I was like, "You're an idiot."
Yeah.
How many years ago was that?
I don't know, a decade maybe.
Okay.
Has it been 10 years? Because I remember when he was in NXT.
I just know.
I remember when he was in NXT. So
I know in my life when I say something like, "Oh, it's only been a few years," it's been 10. So
Yes.
I'm at that age now. So now I just throw everything down to 10.
Okay. So
everything's 10 years, and everything is get off my lawn at this juncture.
Okay.
oh god.
But overall, what did you think of the match? Go ahead and give us a little summary of it.
So I like Shinsuke. I've always liked
Angus,
Shinsuke.
strong stuff.
Yeah, he is one weird dude. All right,
He's an artist, man.
He is an artist formerly known as Shinsuke. But I'm a baseball fan. Unfortunately, I'm a Seattle Mariners fan, and I got to see some of the Japanese pitchers come over. I got to see some of the.
Hideki?
There was their closer, and they did get. It started with an H.
I know who you're talking about. He's a really good pitcher too.
Hiroshima.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. These Japanese athletes, are kind of weird, and they're weird in a good way.
Yeah.
And Shinsuke, his antics and the way he moves, it's so different, and I like it. It's not different like gimmicky. Like the Fiend was different and gimmicky, right? The backwards bend over thing was different and gimmicky.
Yeah.
But Shinsuke, even if that turns out to be gimmicky, it looks legit.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think that's just part of who he is, showing his personality, his originality. Because, like you said, he's not in the mold. He's
exactly
different.
Mm-hmm.
He's set apart,
So I like.
I'm just listening to you. I just want to hear what you think about Shinsuke Nakamura.
I like the match. I like Shinsuke more than the match. I like the outcome of the match the most. I don't know, something about an Asian man with a crown. My last name is King. I can associate with this.
I see bias.
I don't like Shinsuke. I don't like Shinsuke. I like King Corbin. King Corbin looked good in that match, man. I mean, I was really impressed. This man knows what he's doing. This man is a real wrestler, man.
Who is paying you to say this stuff?
Nobody's paying me, man. This right here comes from my inside, man. It brings out everything that's that's been boiling in me since 1974 when I first started wrestling. I'm like, now this right here is a pure wrestler. This man is real. But hey, I have a problem with him wearing a crown. I don't think he's good enough to be wearing a crown.
Well,
he's no king.
He won the King of the Ring, so
yeah,
therefore
I don't care. I don't care if he won the King of the Ring. I don't care if he won the King of the Playground. God, that man has no business wearing a crown.
But you just said he liked him, man.
Man, I think he's a good wrestler.
Well, let the man be.
I think he's a good wrestler. I thought Ox Baker was a good wrestler too, but Ox Baker was a top 20 wrestler. He wasn't a top 10 wrestler. Somebody that should be wearing the king is somebody like Ernie the King Ladd or Harley Race. Those guys wore the crown. Those guys was great. King Corbin is a good wrestler, and I think he can get better. But I know he's been around for a while, and I think he's reached his peak.
I do too.
But I think he was better than Nakamura. I do. Shinsuke was weak. He was weak, man. To me, he was weak in the match. And I'm just like, man, only thing that I was impressed with him, he did an upward kick. He had got taken down, man. He did an upward quick kick, and bam. That's the only thing that he done that I actually was impressed with.
You need to go back and look at some of his matches on NXT.
I will do that, man.
And some of his matches in New Japan.
Because I don't get it. I want to know why people think that this guy is good. And see, I knew Michael would come with this, man. I had a feeling. I said, I bet Michael liked this guy. And when we was over at the house talking and stuff like that, and Chris was like, Chris knew this guy's name good, Shinsuke. I'm just like, man, Chris know this guy. So
Shinsuke, man.
Shinsuke or whatever his name is, man. He's just Nakamura to me. So, so.
All right, you know what? Me and you will go out for sushi. He can have a bologna sandwich.
I'll take the bologna sandwich, man. Even though, like I said, I might be looking at y'all while y'all eating the sushi and want some of it. But I just think King Corbin is a solid, strong wrestler, man. He doesn't present anything new, but that deep six move is special. It's a special move, nice, man, and I like that.
I like that.
But he lost the match.
Of course.
But it was stolen from him, man.
Hey, hook up quick, man.
Nakamura, he cheated, man.
Hey, man.
So I give that match like a C+.
That's what I give it.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I give it, a C+. But I'm pretty sure Nakamura. What is his name? Shinsuke
Nakamura.
Man, why in the world he kept saying Shinsuke or whatever?
I don't know.
Because I guess they don't know how to say his name. But I'm pretty sure he's a very good wrestler. Man, he has to be. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna check him out just to be fair.
You'll love him.
I think as much as you're enamored with Baron Corbin, I think Shinsuke has to tone down what he normally can do to match what Corbin can work with.
And that's probably what it was. Yes. That's probably what it was.
Look at Shinsuke matches against AJ Styles.
Oh, okay.
In New Japan, not no WWE, New Japan.
No, start with WWE and then go to New Japan. Don't do it the other way around.
Okay.
Start WWE, then go to New Japan.
All right. Okay.
It's like
he is a watered down version of himself. I'll say that.
Yeah, but you don't start with the Ritz cracker and then go to the plain unsalted.
Okay.
Right. So. That was a Smackdown. So Smackdown only had 4 matches. The one we did not talk about was Dawkins versus Otis. Ended in a no contest. It was just a beat up, and I didn't care about it. It didn't even make the cut for discussion points. If you guys want to talk about it, go ahead. Otherwise, I think that's the summary of Smackdown. We just give it a grade.
Okay. Do you want to talk about anything else that happened? Any of the attacks and any of the outside interference, any of the antics that was going on.
People got beat up. There you go.
Well, I think some of that stuff, man, was and some of it I really like, man. And the things that Seth Rollins was doing.
All the violence, man. All the violence.
Hey, man, Seth Rollins, man, he's the realest thing I've seen since I started following wrestling again.
Really?
And I mean,
and you missed the Shield, that's for sure.
Hey, no, I'm just saying. Of course, I followed Seth Rollins when he first started, but around the time he was first starting, I was getting out of wrestling.
So you followed him from ROH?
Yes. He impressed me what he's doing, and it's coming off. It's coming off very real to me. So, but I think he could have finished off Caesar when he attacked him on the gurney when they was taking him out.
Yeah.
See, because back in the day, man, he would finish the job right there, but he didn't finish the job. So, but we're gonna go past that and give an overall grade to what we thought of SmackDown.
Grade of the show.
Yes,
Yeah.
overall grade of the show.
Let me see here. If we go with all of our grades, I think if we added them all together, it comes up with a C.
That's what I was thinking about, a C.
Even though it comes out to be a C, I'm giving the overall show. I'm giving it a B plus.
A B plus.
Wow.
Yes.
You like some outside the ring antics.
Yes,
what
he
you
does.
like.
Yes, he's a
Man,
man.
There's nothing inside of the ropes that was worthy.
You like all them sneak attacks and
of
chair
G
shots.
minus.
Man, the show, for some reason, like you said, it added to the show. It added to the show, and usually I don't like all that stuff that's going on, but especially on Raw. Like on Raw, I hate it. I hate it, and like I say, I can't stand it sometimes on AEW.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't stand it. But for some reason, man, they put this together. They presented a real good show to me, and it came out to be a B plus. But like I say, the matches in the ring, yes, it doesn't add up to that. But the overall presentation of how they done everything, I had to give it a B plus. I was gonna give it a C plus. But I was like, man, I was really impressed, and I was ready for more.
Yeah.
Because if you can get me to where I'm ready for more, to see more of what was going on. Because I didn't want the show to end, so I had to give it up to a B plus. I didn't want it to end. I said, man, I really like this.
I think that's some good information to send to the people who run Raw. 3 hours is way too long.
Yeah, and more outside interference.
Yeah, more. Yeah.
And you know what Raw was 3
I say
hours.
let's like have an episode where they forget to bring the ring, and we'll just do it right. There'll be no ring, and it'll be all outside interference.
Oh, my
Raw
God.
fell into that 3 hour thing when because of WCW.
Yeah,
went 3 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But they should have let it go after WCW when they bought him.
Oh, and to go back to that point, the members of the York Foundation, Alexander York, Michael Wall Street,
Yes, that's
Terrence Taylor, Richard Morton, Tommy Rich, and
Thomas
Mr.
Rich.
Yeah,
Thomas Rich. Yes.
Thomas Rich, and Mr. Hughes.
Okay. Mr. Hughes, I remember Mr. Hughes as the bodyguard.
Yeah.
But Michael. When I said Michael Rotundo, I couldn't remember what he was. I was like, but he was Michael Wall Street before he went over to WWE
and became IRS.
Yes,
All
but
right.
it was the same gimmick.
So let's take a topic break from WWE.
Yes, I
between
want to take
SmackDown
one.
and Raw.
I want to
Okay.
take
So I
one.
want to
Go
jump
ahead.
on to the conversation as you got right there. I want to make a couple of statements that I believe, and then we can react to it. One, Tommy Rich did the figure 4 better than Ric Flair. Two, Chick Donovan was the first Ric Flair that failed.
No, Buddy Landell.
Oh my God!
Buddy Landell.
No! What are you talking about, man?
Buddy Landell was the nature boy that failed.
No, Buddy Landell might have tried to call himself the Nature Boy, but Chick Donovan tried to be what Ric Flair was.
Tommy Rich was the biggest joke, man. Come on, man. Don't do me like this, Michael.
You didn't like Wildfire?
Man, what? Oh. When did you first see Tommy Rich, man?
Mid-South Wrestling.
What year? Can you?
Probably like 78.
You sure it was around 78?
I'm pretty sure it's around, between 78 and 80 is my
First
guess.
time I saw Tommy Rich was 1977.
Okay.
He teamed in Georgia Championship Wrestling. He was a protege of Black Atlas, who we know as Tony Atlas. Tony Atlas was like, man, this guy's great. I remember he was sitting at a table just like we sitting, same kind of table, and Tony Atlas was introducing him and stuff like that. And Tony Atlas was big in Georgia Championship Wrestling, man, at that time. And Tony Atlas was like, this guy's exciting, man. He never stops, man. He's fast. He can do it all in the ring. You're going to be really impressed with Tommy Rich, man. Tommy Rich never stops. He keeps going. and he's going to get in there. He's going to do a lot of great things, man. And this guy started wrestling, man. I mean, just tearing things up in Georgia Championship Wrestling, and he moved up in the ranks fast, man. He was just very exciting. Everybody loved him. Wildfire. Everybody's calling him Wildfire.
Yeah, Wildfire.
Man, he was just and he started getting shots at Harley Race, man. Harley Race will beat the snot out of the kid, man. Tommy Rich was only I think he was 21 at the time, but they was making him out to be like he was 19, but he's 21. And Gordon Soley really built this guy up. He was great, man. And I think he went on for 2 years. I think in 1979 is when he went over to the Mid-South. Okay. Just after he had a huge feud with Kevin Sullivan.
Yes.
Then he came back over to Georgia Championship Wrestling, and I think he won the title in 1980 from Harley Race for a week.
Wasn't he U.S. champion or something? Or?
No, he never was the U.S. champion. He was a Georgia Championship. He was a national heavyweight champion when Georgia Championship Wrestling changed, got that national heavyweight title because they had the Superstation, and they were the first ones that actually went national.
So that was below the NWA heavyweight.
Yes. So he left and went to Memphis and then came back in 1980, and man, that's when he got into that feud with Buzz Sawyer because he beat Harley Race, and then after that, man, Harley Race came back and won the title. He never really got a shot again, and he started that thing with Buzz Sawyer, and then he ended up going back to Memphis, and then he turned heel. He said, "The hell with the fans. I still got that wrestling book. The hell with the fans." And man, I like Tommy Rich. I think until he turned heel, and when he turned heel, man, it seemed like he got lazy. He started getting a gut. And that gut stayed with him all those years. But I didn't know he was abusing drugs. I didn't know he was messing with drugs or anything like that. Yeah. But he was one of my favorite wrestlers. At that time, he was in one of my top 5 wrestlers, man. So after that, I never liked him. I was like, man, come on. And
I say this, even as a kid watching him growing up, I was just like, eh.
I like Tommy Rich.
That's how I was, but I was just like,
But see, what year was you? What year you was born in what, 77?
Yeah, I was born in 77. So when he came around in the 80s, even though he was still a face and people were loving him, I was looking at him like.
See, in Mid-Atlantic, he came back in '82 to the Mid-Atlantic area, which Jim Crockett Promotions was taking off to be the big promotion, was really the NWA. Jim Crockett Promotions.
Really
and they brought Tommy Rich in when you had the guys that was the big guys in the promotion at that time was Flair, Dusty Rhodes. You had
Tully. Not Tully, but Magnum.
No, Tully wasn't in. Yeah, they wasn't in the.
Magnum was still in Mid-South.
Yeah, they didn't have. Yeah, Magnum wasn't in there. It was Flair. It was Rose, Blackjack Mulligan, Chic Daniel. Huh?
Wyndham? Wasn't he there?
Yeah, Barry Windham. He was Blackjack Mulligan Jr. That they called him Blackjack Mulligan Jr. And they had who else did they have? Gosh, man, it was I was about to say it before you said Blackjack Mulligan Jr. But Angelo Moscow and stuff like that. And Tommy Rich come in, and Tommy Rich was really good, man. And he should have been one of the top guys in the promotion. But Tommy Rich did not look like the same Tommy Rich. Tommy Rich had got that gut. He was winning at first. But then when he got against the top guys, man, it's like his body failed him. And they didn't put him over. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, Tommy, just get yourself back to what you was. Yeah, and he could have been champion, man.
He could have. All I was saying is he did the figure 4 better than Ric Flair.
I don't think so.
That's a discussion for a whole nother day right there, boy.
I think Greg Valentine did the figure 4 better than Ric Flair.
Yeah, with that doggone shin brace.
Yes. Well, but Tommy Rich,
I think the figure 4 looks better on longer people.
Actually, I will take that back. Tommy Rich did look better, but he didn't use it all the time. Tommy Rich would win a lot of his matches when he was in Georgia Championship Wrestling in Mid-Atlantic. He won a lot of his matches by knocking people out, coming off the ropes. He threw them to the ropes, knock them out, and then he did a splash.
Then he got over that, went to the figure 4 as his thing, and then he got over that.
But that's right after '82. He went back to Mid-South, and then he started using the figure 4 a lot. So
I didn't care. I thought anybody with blonde hair was trying to be a Ric Flair ripoff.
Yeah. So and that brings me to Chic Donovan. And I'm not sure if you remember him.
I remember Chic Donovan.
I remember
so I saw Chic Donovan, and then. And it's history, so it just seemed like a very short time afterwards I saw Ric Flair. Yeah. And I was like, this dude's trying to be that other dude.
When did you first see Flair?
It was after Chic Donovan. I saw Flair.
Well, Chic Donovan is still wrestling. He's still wrestling, man. He's like 76, 77. Body still looks good.
All right.
Chick
is he fighting the Boogie Woogie Man up in Virginia?
I'm not sure, but him and Boogie,
him and Eagle,
they both in their late 70s, man. But the thing about Chick Donovan, man, Chick Donovan was in Georgia, okay, Georgia Championship Wrestling in the early 80s. Chick Donovan, he never got over.
Nope.
I just like, wow, and he hardly ever won a match. I'm like, why are they doing this guy like this? He did get over in a lot of indies and won a lot of titles there, man. But for some reason in the Mid-Atlantic area in the Georgia Championship Wrestling, they would not let this guy get over. Somebody was holding him down, holding him back. But he definitely a lot of people thought that because they thought there's a lot of people out there who think Buddy Landale was before Ric Flair. Oh, Ric Flair's trying to be like Buddy Landale. But the first time I saw Ric Flair was in 1974. Okay,
so I'm not trying to say Ric Flair was trying to be Chick Donovan.
Right.
I'm saying Chick Donovan was this guy, and he was very similar to Ric Flair.
Yes.
And Ric Flair just did Ric Flair better than Chick Donovan could ever do Ric Flair, and Chick Donovan never amounted to anything because he couldn't be a Ric Flair.
Right. Did you ever hear Chick Donovan speak on the mic?
Yeah.
He never got any interview time in Georgia Championship Wrestling.
He wasn't on the mic much. I mean, he never had the opportunity to get emotional and excited. He was there with like a Gordon Solie or whoever and saying, tell me what happened or whatever. Well, this and this and this, and that might be why. I don't recall him having any heat with the microphone.
Right, but Chick Donovan he's a good wrestler, man. He was a really good wrestler. I wish he would have got over more because he could have been one of the top wrestlers in the business.
If he's still wrestling, come on down to APW.
Yes, might as well. Might as well.
We'll give you a title shot.
Yes. But the person that I thought was the closest thing to Ric Flair, or could have been another Ric Flair, is Austin Idol. I thought Austin Idol could have been another Ric Flair. He had the charisma. He had the build. He didn't
have the pretty face.
No, he didn't have the pretty face, but he had to talk. He had the He had the he was flamboyant enough.
I did like Austin Idol.
Yes,
I think I watched him. I didn't get him too often. I think every once in a while I would get like Florida Championship Wrestling or something like that.
Yes.
That's where I would get to see Austin Idol and Brad Armstrong.
Yes.
Oh, Brad.
But as far as I don't know, man. Austin Idol, like I say, he was a really good wrestler. But I saw Flair in '74 when he was around. He was a big guy. He was like 275, 280 when he first came to Jim Crockett Promotions, and Jim Crockett had that, and Flair was, and then he dropped down to like 250. Flair was a really muscled up guy. He reminded me of Superstar Billy Graham at that time. He was really muscled up, and then it moved on to 75, and then he had that. Then he was in that plane crash with Johnny Valentine.
Flair, he wasn't really muscle. He was just solid.
Oh man,
he wasn't like cut and ripped. He was just.
He was big and he was solid, but he would when he posed, it went up. I guess it all went up, and like say he was muscle man. He really.
Because all the pictures I've ever seen of him in Minnesota Kids, he was just like solid, no neck, and just.
But for some reason
he reminded me of Greg the Hammer Valentine kind of big.
Yeah, right. But no, he had got to the point where he was solid. He was never cut like Rick Steamboat. He never was cut like that. But he got pretty muscled up. His physique really got solid and muscular probably about 2 months before he had the plane crash.
Oh, okay.
And he came back because he was a high flyer. Ric Flair would be doing drop kicks. Ric Flair would throw you to the ropes, and Buddy Landale stole this from him. I mean, Ric Flair would go to the ropes, come back, and he would get up. I mean, high, man. I never seen nobody get up that high, come down with the elbow smash. He could really do a whole bunch of things in the air before the plane crash. After the plane crash, he had to change his style.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, except for like he would let you throw him to the rope and then he'd flip over and do all that crazy stuff. Yeah. But he changed his style. And that's one thing I give him a lot of credit for because, man, he did a whole bunch of things different. From if you can never catch some of the matches that he done before the plane crash, you'll see a huge difference of what Flair is now. So let's go.
All right. So That's some wrestling history, but I do like these segments. But it's time to get back into WWE.
Dun, dun, dun.
Before we get to that, if you like the show, if you like what we're talking about, what we're doing here, please give us a like. Please subscribe. Ding, ding, ding. Ring that bell so you get the notifications.
Share, please.
Yeah,
And
tell your friends.
Comments.
Comments. You know, we got some history going on here. We have a lot of wrestling history here. So you got questions about stuff that we're talking about, throw it in there. We're glad to get you up to speed.
If you know something that we don't know, please inform us, comment.
All right, so I want to talk about, so Raw, June 21st. Talk about
This past Raw.
Oh, so we're going to talk about Raw here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Talk about Raw. So Randy Orton and John Morrison.
Johnny Drip Drip.
All right. I picked this match because I find it difficult for me to dislike Randy Orton. When he's a babyface, I find myself still kind of liking him. When he's a heel, I find myself liking him a little bit more.
I don't ever remember Randy ever being a face.
Oh, he's been a face. It's just he's a weird face because it's he's not good at it, I guess. Is what
so he's almost like a tweener.
He is a tweener. I have a recent dislike for that term. I like the concept for belt holders. I just recently ran into an indie organization that had maybe 20 people, and it seemed like 18 of them were tweeners. And it's like, okay, you have no identity, all right? So that put a little, hopefully a temporary bad taste of that term. I like Randy Orton. He's, no matter if he's a good guy or a bad guy, he's always shady, right?
Yeah.
And so I like that about him. It's like, he can turn on a dime. He could be a good guy. You screw up, he'll punch you right in the face until you quit doing that, you know?
In the words of Public Enemy, can't trust it.
Yes, definitely.
Can't trust it, man.
Cannot trust this guy, man. I like that match. And I like Randy Orton too, man. I started watching wrestling around the time that he got into wrestling. I pretty much kind of like filtered away from it. So I still like the guy. So Chris, we was talking about that earlier today.
Yeah,
and Chris don't want to have nothing to do with him because he's won a lot of titles and things like that. So
I mean, the guy's been at the pinnacle of the business. He's won, what was it, like 12 or 13 championships. He's been the youngest world heavyweight champion in the WWE, this, that, and the third. We know he's a third generation superstar. What else do you won tag team championships? You won the IC championship. What else do you got to prove?
So what you trying to say? The man need to get out of the business? Because I mean,
what else you got to prove?
I mean,
man?
he doesn't have any. Man, he doesn't have anything to prove, man. But this guy's still one of the top guys in the business. He's still young, man. Let him do his thing, man. I want to see him continue dominating matches. I want to continue seeing what else we can get out of him. I want to see what his legacy will end up being.
I want to see him just go in there and ruin other people's lives. You know?
Yes, I agree 100%.
Because he can. He would be a better lone wolf Baron Corbin than what Corbin could ever be. This is the guy that should be the Baron Corbin. It's like, I don't like you, I don't like you, I don't like you, and I'm going to come down to this match that has nothing to do with me, and I'm going to RKO both those clowns. I'm going to go back and have a beer, you know?
I can see that. I can see him doing
He's a guy, like, I'd like a gimmick where I'm in the gorilla position, I'm watching the match, I'm sick of the match, Randy, go end that match. You know? This match is boring, go end that match. And he just send him out there and end that match.
Right. Don't have nothing to do with the storyline or nothing.
Exactly.
Comes in, Rick's shopping, he's out.
And I think Chris is thinking is just like what we was talking about before, where we get a little bored now. And back in the day we would be enthused with a good if somebody got put in a chicken wing and or a guy put in a full Nelson and fought it for a long time and was.
I mean, the full Nelson was a submission hold.
Yes, it was. It was.
Yes.
And
now it's something that you do for 15 seconds, and then the person that has you in it just decides to do something else.
And there's so many wrestlers out there now. And I think so many new wrestlers come into business. Chris, like I think he's like saying, I want to see something new. I want to see something new. Oh man, I'm not at that point yet, and I don't think I will ever get at that point.
Oh, you will.
No, I won't. No, I won't.
You will. You
no,
will.
no.
Yes,
Look, listen, man.
You will.
Because I came up, and the way I came up.
Okay. So if Ric Flair was still wrestling at his age.
Ric Flair is 73 years old, sir.
Okay. So you wouldn't want to see Ric Flair sit down and bring on the next big thing?
Ric Flair is 73 years old, sir.
So is Eagle.
Randy Orton. Yeah.
And we want him to sit down too?
Randy Orton.
Yes, I said it.
Randy Orton is in his 30s, man. Isn't he still in his 30s?
He's in
Gotta
his
be in
40s.
his early 40s, maybe. Man, how long did Ric Flair say? Ric Flair didn't start declining until he was around 48 years old. So Hulk Hogan was still up in top of his game in his late 40s, early 50s. These guys were still dominating. Steve Austin in his 40s. He was in his 40s when he was out there doing his thing with that Austin 316. Should he sat down?
Man, because that was reinvigorating. He kept inventing himself.
I don't care.
Randy is doing the same thing, man. The same. He's like, can't be trusted. He just can't be trusted.
But what about?
He just can't be trusted. How many times can you not be trusted?
But what about the new people that's coming in that's just starting or watching wrestling now? Man, I mean, because that is one thing I've saw. That's one thing I have saw that since I started watching wrestling again. In the last few weeks, I've been watching Randy Orton. I'm like, he's just like he was when he first started. I'm like, you can't trust this guy. And that's one thing about Bob Orton. He never changed. He was the same guy until only thing changed is when he got that cast.
So it's like
he never let it go either.
It's like an episode of The Simpsons here.
Right.
So the episode, Bart gets a tattoo. All right, and he's sitting on the couch with Lisa, and Lisa touches his arm. He's like, "Ouch, quit it." Does it again. Ouch, quit it. Does it again. Ouch, quit it. Okay, it's funny the first time, kind of funny the second time. Boring the third, fourth, and fifth time, but then it started getting hilarious the seventh time, eighth time.
Right.
So Orton he was exciting with his debut. Now he's in that it's the same thing stage.
Yeah.
Once you get past that, you're going to love him again.
Yeah, but the only thing I can see right now, going back to Raw, and in this particular match, Riddle interfered. Well, he didn't interfere, but he distracted him.
Right.
Which, obviously, rubbed Randy the wrong way because Randy, being Randy, wants a title shot. And that blew his opportunity.
Right.
So, after the match, after Johnny won, Riddle comes up to him, "What's wrong, bro? What's wrong? You okay? What's wrong, bro?" And Randy's looking at him like, "I will rip your throat out and choke you with it."
I wanted Orton to RKO him right there. All right, and just say, "Know your role." All right, because still from the Rock, but it's like, do what you're told.
Right.
Okay. Lay there and bleed for a minute, and then learn to do what you're told.
I was very disappointed in that.
So
John Morrison winning that match. I was really upset.
I'm impressed with Morrison. He is fast. He's athletic.
Yeah.
I did not like the antics of Miz and Riddle in that match.
That was so.
I felt like it was Die Hard got interrupted by Looney Tunes.
Wow. Die Hard and Looney Tunes. Wow, that's an image. Wow. Yeah. Well, man. What do you think about that, Harry?
What I think about it?
Yeah.
You talking about overall? What do I think about the match?
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, man, Randy losing via distraction from his partner, pissed off at his partner. We know how Randy already is. So Randy probably didn't like the guy in the first place.
So we're gonna break up the arcade bro.
Yeah, so at some point this is gonna add fuel to the fire, and you're gonna have a nasty explosion.
I think Riddle should get a punishment, but I think Randy should just let him stick around because he's kind of funny, man. It's like he's just like Randy, man, come on, Randy. It's just I want to have some friends, but you keep attacking everybody, Randy. We ain't gonna never have friends if you keep doing this. And Randy, I really like you, man. I didn't mean for you to lose this match. I thought I was helping you when Randy doesn't really need any help.
And that's why
I want
he
him
needs
around.
the RKO on him.
Yes.
And then see if he gets up and says, "We're still friends, buddy."
Jeez.
I don't have the same feelings that y'all have about John Morrison. I think he's okay.
You've never seen him in a ladder match. That will change you. I promise you, that will change your mind.
Listen here, man. I mean, being great in a ladder match is not gonna give me an overall. It's not gonna make me give you a higher grade than you actually deserve. You got to show me that you can do it in the middle of the ring, and of course he can do it in the middle of the ring. But when I say middle of the ring, he's middle of the ring, man. When it comes down to where I think where he presents himself, where he should be in the pecking order of wrestling.
I see that.
I don't think he's a great wrestler, man.
But I'm gonna say this though, he's an excellent athlete. Excellent.
I will say that.
Top,
yes,
top
I will.
tier, top
I will say that.
athlete. But I will also say this: if you see him in a ladder match, he will actually be able to showcase his athleticism more than he would in just a versus.
What's up with you in these ladders, man? And I mean, I've known Christopher for how long, man? You known each other,
Over
man?
20 years, man.
Good,
Well,
a long
20
time,
years.
man. Around 23 years.
Yeah.
So you've had an obsession ever since I've known you with ladder matches, man. You've always talked about they had a ladder match, man. You got to come to APW, man. We having a ladder match. You're nuts with these ladder matches. I gotta start watching you because I think you're getting on ladders and you cleaning out people's gutters or something, man. There's something about you like getting on ladders, man. When you wasn't wrestling, you said I have got. If you see somebody's ladder leaning on somebody's house, Christopher had to get on that ladder and do something, man. And then he jumped off, man. He came down a little lower where he wouldn't get hurt, and he dives off. All right, man. Let's go on with the match, man.
If we exclude the antics, I think the match is a B. Add the antics, I think it goes to a C+.
I would actually drop it down lower with the antics. I would drop it down to a D.
All right.
Okay.
Because I mean, did the Miz really need to interfere? No. And did they need that low speed chase around
I
the
know.
ring?
That's what was so Looney Tunes
man.
about.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for the annex, I would give it a C+.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a C+ too. Y'all kind of breaking my spirit down a little bit, man, because y'all talked about the annex and all that, man.
It was part of the match.
Yeah, I know, man. But I wanted to forget about that, man, and give the match a B. I just wanted to stick with what's going on inside the ring. And if I could do that, man, then...
But you're the one that loved the antics from Smackdown.
Exactly.
I did, man.
You wanted all the outside
It was exciting, man. It was
You're the one
exciting.
that gave it like an A for antics.
Because I think they did the antics right, man. If you do the antics right,
So if somebody
then
come out
I
in a
enjoy
wheelchair, drop the match all the way down, right, and splash water in your face.
it does, man.
Oh my God.
All right. So,
Okay.
So, Chris, you wanted to talk Bliss Cross versus Baszler Jax.
Yeah, that match was. Oh wow! If you go back to Hell in a Cell, for those that watched it, if you haven't, go back and watch it. But
We'll talk about that here in a minute too.
yeah, we'll get there. But Bliss basically is supposedly, quote unquote, I would dare say, demon possessed, has these psychic evil powers, mind control, and everything. Has this freaky little doll or whatever, and Baszler messed with her doll, and all she wanted was the apology to the doll. Basically, didn't do it. Blah 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 blah, etc. 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 So we fast forward, and voila, here we are. Now we're having a match with her and Baszler, and she's like mind controlling Nia Jax, mind controlling Reggie, causing all these outside antics from staring at them and all this. It's crazy. It just is stupid, because Alexa Bliss, without all these antics, she is a very well polished athlete.
Yes,
Absolutely.
she is. Yes.
I mean, AJ Lee with the fun side.
Yes, yes. Because, oh wow, I like that comparison to where she is now to. Oh wow, I see what you did there. I like that, Michael. I see what you did there. But yeah. So the match was, and I'm trying to take the antics out of the match,
But you can't.
I can't. It's kind of like seeing something that you just burned in your memory and you can't get it out. I think what who got that? Who won that one? I'm trying to remember.
Alexa Bliss.
Bliss.
It wasn't the fans.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't the Samsung 2000.
Bliss did.
Yeah, Bliss won the match.
Bliss won it. But
she got revenge for a doll.
Yeah. She got revenge for that dog.
And I liked it. I like that.
Yeah, we need to talk about that, man. You and this, we need to talk about that, man.
So let's go back to some history. I loved Kevin Sullivan until he became some hypnotist dude character or whatever.
Yes. Taskmaster.
Right? I loved Alexa Bliss. I loved her little Harley Quinn plus character.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the concept of Sister Abigail. I felt there needed to be a Sister Abigail. I felt that Liv Morgan should have been that person.
Yeah.
So WWE has a way of coming up with ideas and saying, yeah, we should do this, and then taking something that's already working, getting rid of it, and taking that person to do this other idea, and then leaving these other athletes, wrestlers in the locker room with nothing to do. I think Liv could have done this.
Sitting at catering.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So they should have left Alexa doing Alexa things. That was working.
Yeah.
The fans loved it. Liv was looking for her next thing. They gave her some dumb
I don't even know what they
lesbian
did.
thing or whatever with Rusev or whatever. But she was, I thought, primed to be the Sister Abigail character.
But
I'm not a mind control fan for wrestling.
No.
And it goes back to, remember I was talking about suspending reality. Fans have to suspend reality already to a level, and you got to give them some nuggets to keep it alive. And I think this stuff just kills it.
Because honestly, I'm going to even go back to the mind control Sister Abigail thing. Because her and the Fiend, that was working. That was over. But then,
and then it was over.
Literally. But he took some time off, supposedly because of Luke Harper's death, who he was very good friends with, and it still hurts him to this day, which I understand. You gotta get your mind right, take your time off, heal.
Yep.
You know, do what
Don't
you
hurt
got
somebody
to do.
because your mind's not right.
Exactly. Do what you got to do to get yourself in a right mind frame and grieve or whatever you need to do. I get it, but they should at least wrote that character off some kind of way. But now what they've done, they were like, oh, well, we can just basically take that and put it on her.
Right.
And that's what they've done. And so now you got to think, and I'm thinking the long frame here, what's going to happen when he comes back? Now what?
Right.
So now WWE is almost, you painted yourself in a corner, because at some point he's gonna want to come back and be, he's like, okay guys, I'm back, I've done what I've had to do in my personal, I'm back, let's get this ball rolling. And
hey, look, we got this new guy, Husky Harris.
She can get herself. They can take her and say she went and got some rehab and she got herself back together.
They'll bring him back as a priest and she'll be exercised.
Yes. Oh man, but what'd you give the match?
I give the match. I give it a C-.
Yeah.
I was
I'll give it a
shooting
C
D,
minus.
but I'll play nice.
I'm gonna give it a C minus too.
She might
C.
She might hypnotize me and make me hit myself if I don't give it a
But
Exactly.
You know, but overall it was pretty good, man. But I see what you got for me on this next one, Michael. But I want to talk about that Riddle and Drew McIntyre match.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about that match.
Man, I was just I thought it was a good match, but I think they kind of overplayed Riddle and made Drew look a little silly in this match.
And that's why I didn't assign that one to you.
Right. I mean, it just. I mean, I was just like stunned, man, and I'm just like, it's like Riddle just played around in this match and just circled McIntyre. And McIntyre didn't actually get to do a lot of the things that he usually does.
Well, you got to
that he
think too
usually
now.
does.
McIntyre just finished that brutal Hell in a Cell with Bobby
That's
Lashley.
true. That's true.
Right. But then Bobby Lashley beat the snot out of Xavier Woods without a problem. So.
Yes.
In a Hell in a Cell match.
Right. And so I wonder if McIntyre is getting some time off and they're just burying him to justify his absence.
Well,
Yes.
Yeah, because you got to think, man. I mean, the guy was legitimately hurt, man. I mean, if you saw his back, he looked like a runaway field slave.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a flesh wound.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, it just
Those
makes.
hurt the worst.
Just gonna make it short, man. I was just shocked that Riddle got the win, man, and I was just like, wow.
And once again, going back to Randy losing, Riddle winning, more fuel on the fire.
That just blew my mind, man. So I don't really know how to grade this match, to tell you the truth. I'm gonna swing it to one of y'all, and we'll come back around to me what I think about it.
C. When in doubt, I default to C.
Yes.
I'm gonna give it a D.
For
C minus. So.
Don't
disappointed.
Yes. So that was just wow.
Yeah.
All right. So that was Raw. Overall for Raw. Well, let's give all the results. Ricochet beat AJ Styles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Asuka and Naomi beat Marie and Niven, now called Doudrop. I know a lot of people are mad at the name change, and I don't like her regardless of either name.
Who got changed to Doudrop?
Niven. I think that was the name. Was Niven was her
Yes.
original name?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm not a big fan of her regardless of her name. Eva Marie.
Yeah. The girl from NXT UK, Piper Niven. Yeah.
Eva Marie. I don't know what kind of dirt she has on Vince McMahon that gives her opportunity to come back, but she must have something. Morrison defeats Orton. Bliss and Cross defeats Baszler Jax. Riddle defeats McIntyre. And Lashley defeats Xavier Woods in a Hell in a Cell match, which normally we would cover a Hell in a Cell match, but it wasn't worthy of coverage.
But I think not necessarily what Eva Marie has on Vince McMahon. I'm just going to say she has a good set of knee pads. All right, moving on.
Oh, man.
Okay,
Wow.
So,
moving
Raw
on. Yeah.
overall score.
Overall score, I'm going to give it a D, man.
Wow, man. You hate it, man.
I did, man. It was garbage. And what killed it for me was the main event, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hell, I mean, you just had, what? Oh, Hell in a Cell.
Oh, I know, man.
Oh, come on.
It was such a reach to even set that up. There was.
Yeah, thank you.
Honestly, they just said we need something for this guy to do. Who's not doing something? Well, this guy's not doing something. Okay, let's throw that out there.
All right, man. Straight up, I'm gonna give it a C.
C minus.
I was gonna say D plus, but I'm gonna give it a C. I was gonna say D plus after Chris come up with the D, man. Chris, like I say, you just killed it for me, man. But I'm gonna give it a C. Like I say, and Michael
y'all
C
being,
minus.
Y'all being real generous.
Yeah.
Y'all
So,
being real generous.
so let's overall C.
C minus.
Yes,
overall.
C minus overall.
Yes,
Okay.
C minus.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So that brings us to Hell in a Cell.
Oh Lord! After we already talked about two of them.
Yeah, we already talked about a couple of them.
No, I'm talking about like Raw SmackDown.
Yeah, it's Raw SmackDown.
Okay.
Right.
Oh my
but
gosh.
the actual Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. I know you guys wanted to talk about Bianca Belair's match. I wanted to talk about that one also.
So you got me up there. So let me talk about the match I want to talk about is Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn.
I was about to say y'all can wrestle over that. Who gets the Bianca Belair match?
But yeah, I want to talk about Kevin Owens Sami Zayn match.
Okay.
I thought that was a very good match. Throwback match, and it also looked good for the day. Like I say, I like Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm.
Hard hitting, solid wrestler. Sami Zayn is too. He's a throwback. Very exciting match. Kept me interested the whole time. Sami Zayn, he really took a lot of good shots in that match. He got his in too. I don't know, man. And like I say, both of them, they have a history together. They was best friends, right? Close to being best friends.
Yeah, best friends. Yeah.
So, but I thought it was real good, and their chemistry showed. Their chemistry showed working together. They really put together a good match. I mean,
I'm very happy that you took a break from wrestling for a little while.
Yes.
And you could come back and watch that match. I've seen this match 16 times already.
Yeah,
I've seen it more than 16.
Yes.
So, I'm not going to argue your points. I'm not going to say I disagree with your points.
Right.
I'm just saying I've seen it so much I've lost the ability to appreciate it.
Exactly.
And to tell you the truth, Michael, I was thinking that the same way. Even though I haven't seen those two clash, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, okay, these guys look good together and all that, but I've seen so many matches, even though I haven't saw these two get together in that kind of a match, but I've seen it a lot in my lifetime. So I will agree with you.
Right, but I've seen these two fighting
around
each
16
other
times.
for like 16
And
matches.
and for some reason I was thinking, I bet they done fought each other a lot.
Oh yeah, man.
A lot over the last 5 years, a lot.
And then we're not even going to talk about non-WWE.
Exactly. Because they did it in
the independents and things.
NXT,
Well, okay.
ROH, and indie scenes. Man, it goes back.
But still, I think it was a good match. Even though, for some reason, and I don't know why in the world I get these thoughts in my head, because like Michael said, he's seen this match 16 times. I was thinking they probably been in a match plenty times before, and people were getting bored with it. So it took my mind to a point to where I'm like, should I be bored with this match? Because they probably done wrestled a lot, and the wool is being pulled over my eyes.
But
So
don't be, because I think it's a perspective that we may need to hold on to. Because
yes.
We need that one fan to still believe.
Well, the fact that you haven't seen it 16 times because you took a break from watching WWE, you get to see it with some fresh eyes, and you get to see it like it's new to you, or relatively new to you, and appreciate it for what it is. Whereas us, we're kind of jaded.
Yes.
And burned out.
And burned out. And that kind of thing. So while we give it the F minuses, you're giving it the F plus. We find some happy ground because we can appreciate your perspective.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm still surprised Sami Zayn won the match. I wanted Kevin Owens to win the match. Even though I don't think Kevin Owens is a Black Bart to me. He reminds me of a Black Bart. Or maybe it's Sami Zayn reminds me of a Black Bart, and Kevin Owens reminds me of Ronnie Bass. I mean, he's not as in good shape as Ronnie Bass, but he's close.
Round is a shape.
Huh?
Round is a shape.
Yeah. Man, Ron Bass wasn't in that bad of shape.
No, Kevin Owens is.
Kevin Owens,
but for a big man, he can.
He can do it, man. He can put it together, man. So it's. I mean, we got to give him props there. I mean,
I've liked Kevin Owens. I like him better as a heel.
Oh, good Lord, yes. Because that's what I was telling Harry. I was like, if you love him now, go back and watch him in NXT.
Yes.
Oh, you really gonna love him.
Oh, okay.
Because when he came up and challenged John Cena, and they had their few matches, man.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
But to me, right now, he looked like a nasty boy. I mean, like if not, which one was Sags? You know,
Oh, wow.
I'm not saying he's not that far deep into the nastiness, but he's close to it. So
Okay.
I did like the Kevin Owens Cena feud when he first came up. It was done well.
Yeah.
But let's go on to Cesaro versus Rollins. I'm still waiting for them to give Cesaro the push that he deserves.
Yes.
And I understand, the concept of keeping the fans wanting and, watching and waiting.
Dangling that carrot.
They're going to ruin that. That carrot is going to rot on a stick here in a minute. He's long overdue, and I'm familiar with this Seth Rollins. It's the same Seth Rollins that turned on the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I know this character already. I did like the heel turn. I thought it was too soon to break up the Shield, but I like the way they did the turn and how heelish he became. He excelled at it. But I don't know that they have any baby faces to compete with the heel. All right. I like Cesaro a lot. I'd like to put a belt on him at least for a little while. Cesaro is over. He's not fully over. Throw a belt on him. Give him that golden crutch for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then he can drop it to somebody else, even Rollins again or whatever.
Yeah.
I think they work well together, Cesaro and Rollins. I think they could just use more creativity in the match.
Yeah.
Cesaro, man. Look, okay. Very talented guy, very, very skillful, strong guy.
Oh yeah.
I agree with you, Michael. He's probably the strongest pound for pound in the business.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something about him that just doesn't do it for me. Even though I think he's a better overall wrestler than Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins been around a long time, but Seth Rollins is he's just a better wrestler. He's has a better presentation to me.
Presentation. Better wrestler. That's debatable.
Well, it might be debatable, but for some reason Seth Rollins is more real to me, and it seemed like Seth Rollins is a top 10 guy, and he's over it as a top 10 guy, and he's believable as a top 10 guy. Cesaro, he can get over for a short term. I believe, just like I say, put the belt on him for a short term. I believe that, but he's not sustainable to me.
So you say he would be good as a transitional champion?
Maybe.
I think he would. I think maybe throw the belt on him and see if that is the impetus for transformation into the next level.
Yes.
Right? Gotcha. I don't know if it's Cesaro or if it's WWE that's not allowing the personality and the character to shine.
That's probably WWE, I'm sure.
Yes.
Right? Because he does feel subdued.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And
yes.
so I'm not sure that it's him or WWE. Throw the belt on him, get rid of any reason to subdue him, and see what happens.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chris. You got anything else to share?
Yeah, I would say this. For you, Harry, since you say that Rollins is a better wrestler, go back, look at the first NXT TakeOver, Cesaro and Sami Zayn. That match right there, until that point, honestly, I really never knew who either one of those guys were. But that match right there, yeah.
Okay. Listen, when I say a better wrestler, Chris.
You mean like Matt and technique?
No, I'm not talking about that. When I say a better wrestler, I'm talking about somebody. I'm talking about the presentation of a wrestler. Okay, I'm not saying that he has more skill because I think Cesaro has more skill.
So it's a package. It's
what he's
skill,
packaged,
technique, showmanship, presentation.
Yes. When I look at
Lex Luger at the total package,
like when I look at the billboard, I look at a billboard, a wrestler. Like when it boils down to it, let's take Bob Backlund, Ric Flair.
I was about to say that Bob
Backlund to me,
or Luthez.
Okay.
Because you got to look. They look like the gentlemen of their day.
Right.
But you wouldn't think like, oh my gosh, that guy's a heck of a. Just looking at him, you wouldn't be like, oh that dude's one heck of an athlete.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have that
right.
aura.
Physique.
And that aura.
Right.
They just look like some dudes walking around with towels on their neck and they were in shape.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Bob Backlund at one time, Ric Flair and Nick Botwinkle. Okay.
Yeah.
Ric Flair was a good technical wrestler. You know, he was technically sound. Yeah. Even Bret Hart finally admitted that. He's a technically sound, but you saw one Ric Flair match, you've seen 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
Bob Backlund had it all. Nick Botwinkle did too. But if you put a billboard up and just the guy who has the charisma, the guy who looks like a wrestler, to me is Ric Flair. That looks like something. But I think Bob he looks more of a wrestler than a Bob Backlund, even though I think Backlund was the better wrestler. Yes.
Okay.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Rollins his presentation, his look,
his flash.
Yeah, his flash, his flair is it's just better than Cesaro. Cesaro is just there's something that's missing there. Maybe if he became a heel or something, and it just and somebody came in and he's been there.
Yeah.
But yeah, if somebody came in and gave him that push, and somebody came in and say, okay, we need to change you to this. Even though he's been a heel before, we need to change you to this, to where we can present you like this. I think there's something missing there. Somebody has to come in and find that niche that's going to get him over. Because he should be way over, man. He should be one of the top three to five wrestlers in the game.
Yeah.
I admit that.
All right, so grade the match. I go B.
I give it a B plus.
B plus, and
Harry Taylor.
HBT. B.
Yes.
All right.
So that brings us to Chris.
I'll take the main event.
You'll take the main event? All right.
Yeah. Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre Hell in a Cell for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Wait a minute. I think you already described everything that happened in this match in our last podcast.
Oh, dang, I sure did, didn't I? Well, I'm going to do it again.
All
Recap.
Right.
So, basically, this is Drew McIntyre. No.
I'm sorry.
Monday was Drew McIntyre's absolute last chance to ever try for the title. But what happens, it was supposed to be Sunday. Follow me here. It was supposed to be Sunday. If Bobby Lashley beat him, Drew gets no more shots. Okay, because they fought, good God, how many different times and main events, and you fans, you know, you've seen it. So it was a hard-hitting match, which was expected. Drew showed off a bit of his athletic skills. He really didn't get to show off like he would usually do, because some confinement of the Hell in a Cell, this, that, and the third, and Bobby, like I said, more ground-based, ground and pound. It was physical, and basically what happens, MVP interferes and gives Bobby the win, the end. So we basically have it now. Drew lost. No more title matches. But wait, there's more. We roll over into Monday. Hell in a Cell qualifiers. Oh, Drew. Hey, you don't have an opponent. So how about you wrestle old Broski over here, Rob Van Dam 2.0, and you can win a chance at Money in the Bank and possibly win the title. Catch 22. But what happens? WWE gets smart. Oh yeah, just 24 hours ago we said you couldn't win it. So guess what happens on Monday? He doesn't win. So he's out of the picture now. Mm-hmm. So the match just was what I figured it was going to be. Which, now looking into a long run, me and Harry, you had this conversation earlier. The only reason Bobby Lashley came back to WWE was to face Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
So, since Drew's out the picture, and you got Joe Blow every once in a while might want to challenge. Next week he's got Kofi Kingston after Xavier Woods this past Monday. SummerSlam, he's going to need an opponent. Michael or Harry, do you possibly think we could see between now and August 21st of SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar returning and wanting that title shot? Because, I mean, that's where we're at now, basically.
Yes, that's true.
I mean, if you look at the land, that's where we are. Because who else is for Lashley to face? This going to put on a quality match and believable match.
Okay. You think Brock Lesnar is the guy that will put on a quality match?
Well, it'll be different. It'll be different. I would love to see Brock literally, take off the gloves and try to draw blood, and it gets to an MMA fight because
that. See, now we go back to that whole MMA wrestling thing that AEW did, right?
But this will be legit because
you guys. Let's just do this one straight up legit.
Yes.
You can do wrestling antics if you want to. We're not even going to say who's going to win. You guys can just duke it out and the winner wins. That I would get behind.
Yeah, I would too.
But a scripted anything with Lashley and Lesnar, I'm not that interested in.
Yes.
Because, like I said, at that point you got two guys that are legit MMA fighters.
Mm-hmm.
So
that would be great to see, man. If
and just have it in a wrestling ring.
But I wouldn't be surprised with Brock's history, how he's jumped in and out of MMA, in and out of the WWE. Him coming back by that time, I wouldn't be shocked if he does that.
Because he's not doing nothing right now.
No, he's not.
You give him enough money and let him just show up like quarterly, he'll do it.
Yes.
And that's what they did with his last run, and quite honestly, it got annoying.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it created some ill will in the locker room.
Oh yeah. Because you're paying this dude buku bunch
and he didn't
of money,
have to do anything.
Yes.
And he comes out and Paul Heyman does all the talking, and then you might sense a lamb to the lion. They come to interrupt his interview, gets beat down, gets thrown around, and then they leave. And then you don't see, that's all you see of Brock Lesnar for that whole particular show.
Right.
Yeah.
So overall, what you give the match?
I'm gonna give it a C minus.
D.
I was about to go there.
D plus.
It was so pretty. I could almost do that match with a stopwatch.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Just like I know they wrestled each other a lot, and I was like, what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the kind of feel that we had with the Sami Zayn
Kevin Owens match. Yes.
So to recap, Hell in a Cell pre-show, Natalya defeats Mandy Rose. Bianca Belair defeats Bayley.
I thought you wanted to talk about that match.
I kind of did, but
come on, man, that was a great match.
It was a great match. But I'm gonna look at the clock here. And
okay, let's just give a grade on it. So.
Okay, I'll give it an A minus.
Okay, I'll give it a
A minus.
Yeah, A minus was my first thought, but I moved it up to A. So
okay, And maybe we'll do something and cover that in the future. But we need to just roll through.
Yeah, we can roll through.
Rollins beat Cesaro.
Yes.
Bliss defeated Baszler. We kind of touched on that with the mind tricks.
Mm-hmm.
Zayn defeated Owens. Charlotte Flair beat Ripley by DQ, so Ripley is still your champion. Mm-hmm. And then Lashley defeated McIntyre, and that was your Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
Oh yes. So as we sign off, we would like you again to hit that like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification button.
And comment. Please comment. Like
no
I said,
doubt.
I don't know how many times I gotta say it. This is a wrestling podcast for you. We want to talk with you, not at you. So if you have anything, suggestions, comments, concerns, subject matter that you want us to cover, that you feel that we didn't cover, that you think may be interesting, comment.
So overall, just to give the Hell in a Cell an overall grade, I'm going to give it a C-. Belair and Bayley, Flair and Ripley is what saved it from being a D.
I would agree. And I do agree wholeheartedly on that one. I really do.
I'll give it a C.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give it a solid C on that too.
All right. But overall, and like I say, so I guess it's what, C- overall?
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah.
Overall, we give it a C-. But we appreciate you listening to us, and we appreciate everything you do, and we know that you can listen to a lot of podcasts out there. There's a lot of wrestling podcasts out there, and there's a lot of people out there that's doing what we're doing, and you don't have to you don't have to be here, but that's why you coming to us. We're going to try to give you the best that we can give you. Use all the knowledge that we have, and give you a little bit of the present and the past. And future shows, we got a lot of things coming up for you, and we hope that you tune in for them. And let me pass this over to my colleague Michael and Chris. Let them finish this off.
All right, so NXT is tonight.
Yes.
Actually, take a watch at that. It's Tuesday night, and I'm not sure when you're going to be listening to this, but NXT is tonight. We do this show on a Tuesday. So next episode, we will be covering NXT.
Yes. So NXT will be running a week behind for us.
Absolutely.
So this NXT, we'll be talking about it next Tuesday.
Exactly. So we were hoping to do a little bit of a prediction with NXT, but we're not going to. But things to look for that's going to be revealed tonight is, what is this Diamond Mine? Who is Adam Cole going to choose to be his opponent? What's going to happen with Samoa Joe this week, this month?
Oh, yes.
So those are things that we're looking forward to covering. And honestly, of all the WWE products out there, NXT is the one that actually gets me a little bit excited and looking forward to seeing what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
No
NXT, I can't... Whew, yeah, NXT is going to be interesting. I can't wait to go back and actually watch it to see what happened, because it just finished up. But yeah, I get to go back and watch it and see what's going to happen. And reiterating and piggybacking on what my colleague Harry said earlier, we do this not just because we love this and we love this profession and we love this business. We do it because we want to entertain you, the fans. Like he said, there's a million different wrestling podcasts out there, a million different ones you could be listening to, but we thank you that you choose to listen to us, because we're not quote unquote professionals. We're not, getting paid to do this. We're doing this because of the love that we have for this business and the love and respect we have for the men and women that actually do this on a day in and day out. And we want to represent from a fan's perspective on what we see. And if you did not know, me and Michael, we are in the business, so we can give you both sides, because even though we are in the business, we're also fans.
It's absolutely. I wouldn't be in the business if I wasn't.
You got that right. You got that right. A hot dog and a handshake doesn't go far. If
You get a hot dog?
yeah. If you know, and you caught that reference. But yes, once again, we want to thank you, the fans, for listening. And yeah, we just hope you share, like, and subscribe, get those notifications, and comment. Harry, you want to close this out?
Hey, with all that being said, I'm Harry Bernard Taylor with my man Michael
King, the Asian sensation.
my man Christopher,
The People's Podcaster.
and we're signing off, and we will see you soon. And like we always say, we appreciate everything that you do, and we'll check you on the next podcast. Thank you.
Peace be the journey.
Peace.